question for today. Explain the strategic implications of each of the following types of business in a corporate portfolio. Okay, so what is the meaning of stars? What is the meaning of question marks? What is the meaning of cash cows? And what is the meaning of dogs? So which topic does this come under? Stars, question marks, cash cows, dogs. Do you remember which topic this comes under? Any guess, Mahati?
Ma'am, it comes under the SWOT analysis.
No, SWOT analysis is strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. This comes under BCG matrix. So Boston Consulting Group is a company who had developed this matrix, and this matrix is used to classify the companies and their products into 4 different blocks. Okay, so let me just do this before we come to the question. So yeah, we'll probably. So on your x-axis, that is horizontally, you're going to have the market share. Okay, and on your y-axis here, you're going to have the market growth. Over here it is growth on your y-axis. Okay, so on your x-axis, I have my market share, and on my y-axis, I have growth. Okay, now, again, divide this high, low, and then I have again over here. I'll take a different color maybe. Growth high and low. So I have something over here. So let's begin from here. The growth is low, but the market share is high. The growth is low and the market share is high. So it will fall here in my bottom left. So this box here, let me just divide this into 4. High and low. Okay, can both of you quickly tell me what does this stand for? This box here, what does it mean? Market share is high or low, or growth is high or low? Tell me, what does this box here mean? What does this box mean?
Ma'am, it'll be a dog.
Yeah, just tell me what is it? Like, for example, the market share is high or low, the growth is high or low. Just tell me by looking at the graph. The bottom left means what?
Ma'am, the growth and market share, both of them are low.
If you see over here, the growth is low, as you rightly said. The growth is low. But if you see, the market share is high, because this is the high column, right? This is, okay, my high is gone a little to the left, but okay, this is high, H-I-G-H. Okay, so the box here means the market share is low, but the growth is high. The market share is low, but the growth is high. Okay, so over here, I'm going to have my market share as a high, but my growth as low. Yeah, is that clear, Mahati?
Yes, ma'am. But the left corner, the bottom one, the growth is also low, but the market share is also low, right? The second one, I thought that was what you were referring to.
Yeah, this one is both are low. This one here, this means the growth is low and the market share is low. The one, the bottom right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, the bottom right is where both are low. See, low and low. You have to see, yeah, where the points meet. So both are low. This is the one that you are referring to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in the case where both are low, market share is also low and my growth is also low. Okay. This is the situation of a dog. This is the situation of a dog, which means you should abandon it. This, the cash flow that you're going to have from this product, which has a very low rate of growth and a very low rate of market share, is going to generate you negative cash flow. So you should abandon that product. Okay. So that they have termed it as dog. That they have termed it as dog. Over here, if you see the bottom left one, the growth is low and the market share is high, which means that you are able to generate more money into it and you need to invest more, maybe improve technology, maybe, you know, spend more on advertisement so that the growth will slowly increase. Your market share is anyway high, but since your growth is low, if you invest more, then your cash flows will increase. So you need to milk the cow. You need to milk, this part is cow. The more you milk the cow, the more returns it will generate for you in the future. So this column here is cow. And the last one where if both are low is the dog. Okay. Now coming above, where my come to your top right quadrant, this one. Okay, top right quadrant. I'm going to use a different color. Top right quadrant. This is where my market share is low, but my growth is high. My growth is high, but my market share is low. So this is like in the stage of maturity, a product in the stage of maturity. So this is known as a question mark. This is known as a question mark. So you can't really say for sure, should you invest more in that or not? You should analyze the circumstances and decide. So this is the situation of a question mark. If that's clear, let's come to the first quadrant. The first quadrant is where my growth is very high and my market share is very high. So this product is getting me a lot of profit for the company. So this product is that of a star. Is that of a star. For example, take iPhone. In the case of Apple, iPhone could be their star product, where it is getting them a lot of abundant cash flow and the market share is also high and the market growth rate is also very high. So that is the star product for Apple. But if you look at Apple, if you look at some lesser of their used products, for example, a lot of competition is coming in. So AirPods, yeah, they need to do something. Maybe they need to come up with better. That AirPods right now could be the cow product. Could be the cow product. If you remember, there was something called a shuffle. Shuffle, you remember? Apple had some MP3 player called Shuffle. You remember?
iPod.
Yeah, iPod Shuffle. Yeah, so iPod Shuffle would now be a dog product. It's generating them negative cash flow. So if everyone's clear with this, let us quickly revise once. Both of you tell me, what does my x-axis stand for? Over here?
Market share.
Yeah, share, correct. Share. And what does my y-axis stand for?
Growth.
Yeah. Okay, I might go right G for growth. Okay, now you tell me quickly the one that I should abandon, the one in my where both are low.
Is dog.
Is dog. Yeah, D-O-G. Okay. The one that I should invest more in to generate more return over here. This is
Cash cow.
cow. Mansi, I hope you're clear. This is
Yes,
cow.
ma'am.
Yeah, this is cow. And on my top right would be
Question mark.
yeah, question mark. And my top left would be my star product, where both are high. So I hope you know that this is high and then low and then high and low. I'm really sorry for my scribbling around in the screen, but I hope you really got the concept. So if that's the case, let's move on to the answer. The BCG Growth Share Matrix Portfolio of Investments. BCG stands for Boston Consulting Group. It's a company that had come up with this growth share matrix. Portfolio of investments are represented in two-dimensional space. The vertical axis represents the market growth rate and the horizontal axis represents the market share. Let us see what are the strategic implications of the 4 points. Stars. Stars are products or businesses that are growing rapidly and are best opportunity for expansion. Stars may follow build strategy. Build strategy means you need to invest more so that you're able to generate more returns. They need heavy investments to maintain their position and finance their rapid growth potential. So they still have potential. You need to fuel their potential. Clear about stars? That growing rapidly, it is high, so they are growing rapidly and they still have more potential to grow. So invest more in star products. Next is cash cows. Cash cows are low growth, but high market share. So if you remember, the growth rate is, the growth is low, but the market share is high. The market share was on our x-axis. So market share was in our cash cows. Low growth. So low growth, correct. And high market share, high market share, correct. They generate cash. Sorry. They generate cash and have low cost. They are established, successful, and need less investment to maintain their market share. Strategic alternative advocated for cash cows is harvest. Okay, I want you to. Harvest means milk the cow, means take care of it, harvest it correctly. Okay, so build strategy is one keyword. Second keyword is harvest. So cows you will harvest or milk. Harvest is also known as milk. Please make notes. Third is question marks. Question marks are low market share businesses in high growth markets. Low market share businesses in high growth market. Yeah. Strategic option for them is hold. Okay. Hold, for which they need heavy investments. Question mark, if left unattended, are capable of becoming dogs. If you do not work on your question mark products, they will become dogs. So the strategy over here is hold. So what is the strategy for the first point, which was stars? What is the strategy there?
Build.
Build. What is the strategy for cash cows?
Harvest.
Harvest. What is the strategy for question mark? Hold.
Hold. Stable.
Hold. Okay. Next is dogs. Dogs are low growth, low share businesses and products. Relevant strategy is to divest. Underline the word divest. It is also known as abandon. Abandon the dogs or divest. Do not put in more money there. Clear? Dogs may generate enough cash to maintain themselves but do not have much future. Dogs should be minimized by means of abandonment, divestment, or liquidation. Mark, this question is very important. Going on to our question number 2. Explain the role of ADL matrix in assessing competitive position of a firm. ADL matrix, another important and interesting question. ADL matrix in assessing competitive position of a firm. Okay, let us see what ADL matrix is about. The ADL matrix has derived its name from Arthur D. Little, a DL, Arthur D. Little, which is a portfolio analysis method based on product life cycle. So we all know the product life cycle is introduction, and then we have growth, then we have maturity, and then we have the decline of a product. You all know the product life cycle. The approach forms a two-dimensional matrix, same like what we did last question, two-dimensional matrix based on stage of industry maturity and the firm's competitive position, environmental assessment and business strength assessment. So it is based on the product life cycle, comma, it is based on the environmental assessment and the business inherent strength assessment. The role of ADL matrix is to assess the competitive position of a firm based on an assessment of the following criteria. So I want to understand how good or how competitive my company is. Okay, is it a dominant company that I have, that I don't have to worry about any competitors? I'm the strongest in the market. Yeah, I have the best products. I have the highest market share. Do I have a dominant position in the industry? Or is my position strong? Okay, wait, before going here, let me just show you what an ADL looks like, ADL matrix, so that it's more clear for you guys. So this is what my ADL matrix looks like, okay? I'd request you to make a note in your summary notebook so that it's easier for you to remember. So embryonic means introduction. Introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. These are the industry life cycles. So on my x-axis, I have the product life cycle. And on my y-axis, I have the competitive position of my firm. Competitive position of my firm. So in a very dominant when I have a very dominant place, for example, you remember Jio, when they had introduced, they came at a 0 rupees SIM card for everyone. Okay, so in that introduction, why am I calling that in dominant? Because so many people suddenly moved to Jio and they had, suddenly held a very dominant position in the market. So that strategy is hold the position, hold the position. Okay, which means that if you remember that a lot of us had issues with Jio with connectivity, we would be like, okay, we will make jokes and memes that if the network is not getting connected, it could be Jio, right? So, but still what Jio did, they didn't run away from the market or they didn't give up. They sort of invested more money in establishing towers and better signals because they knew that now that a product is just in the introduction stage. And if they're going to invest more, they could suddenly earn a lot of money. So hold the position. If you're in a dominant position and if you're in a growth state, still hold the position, hold the position. Maturity state, still hold the position, grow with the industry. You know that, okay, suddenly some competition has come up for your product, but don't worry, you still have market share. You can hold the position and grow along with the share. Next, in aging, when you have a dominant position, you need to still hold it because even in the aging phase of a product, you still need to hold that position because you still have the ability to make money. So remember, in a dominant position, the thing that you need to do is hold that position. If you're investing, if your technology is your USP, keep investing in technology. If leadership is your USP, for example, Ratan Tata, yeah, do you think the Tata Group would want to, let go of Ratan Tata now that they have all the products established, the processes established? Do you think they'll be like, okay, Tata bhai, abhi ho gaya sab kuch, now we're good, now we don't want you? Do you think that company will make that decision? No, right? They would still want Ratan Tata to be there on the board because he adds a lot of dominance to the company. His presence adds a lot of, so hold that position. Don't let that go. Hold that position. Clear? right? So dominant means you will hold. When you're in a strong, you're not the number one in the industry, but you have a very strong position in the market. You're not number one, but you have a very strong. Okay. In that introduction, push for more share, so improve the position, push for more share, invest for more. Similarly, in the growth stage also, push for more, so that you reach the dominant stage. In the mature cycle, hold the position, grow with the industry. In the aging, hold the position or harvest. Hold the position or harvest. Harvest is like our cow that we had to harvest. Hold the position or harvest. Next, dominant over, strong over. The third one is favorable. Third one that we have is favorable. Selective or all out, put for share. Selective attempt to improve the position. Attempt to improve the position. Okay, so you're in a favorable situation. You're not very strong. You're not weak. You're okay. Okay. Custodial, it was like almost like you can imagine Vodafone. Okay. You have to somehow try to attempt to improve the position. Okay. But when it's aging, you start to withdraw, because anyways, you're not number one in the market, and also your product is going to the ending stage. So it's better you withdraw. You withdraw your share from that product. Tenable. Tenable means not very weak, but in very in the average stage. Average, we call it as average. So that is tenable. Selectively push for position. So find out some niche product. Find out your company's niche products. Okay, say I'm a surgical dealer. In my surgical industry, say my diaper section is doing very well. The other sections are not doing so well. So I take diaper section and I try to work more on that to get more market share. Find niche product and try to protect that. Find niche and hang on. Okay. But if it's aging, please withdraw. If it's aging, please abandon or withdraw. Finally, it's weak. In the introduction stage, up or out. So you either decide to, if you're weak in something and it's the introduction stage, you either decide that you need to level up your game or you need to get out. At the introduction itself, you need to understand that. Okay, in your growth stage, you turn around the whole position or you abandon it, because it's the growth stage, but still you're not able to get the best out of the market, right? So what you do is abandon, as in go into some other line, abandon. Mature, abandon. Aging, abandon. Because you have a very weak position in the market. You're not making much profits. So dominant, strong, favorable, tenable, and weak. I compare my competitive positions with my industry life cycle, which is introduction, growth, maturity, and aging. Are you clear with the ADL matrix? Yeah. Everyone's clear with the ADL matrix? Some idea about what it is? If yes, some type clap in the chat box. Type clap in the chat box. If you have any doubts, you can also bring that up. Good. Okay, Mahati. Jenny, Mansi. Are you clear? Wonderful. Okay, so I want you to remember the name of the positions. First one was scream out loud. What was the first position? Scream out on the chat,
Dominant.
Dominant. First is dominant. Second position was?
Strong.
Strong. Third?
Favorable.
Favorable. Fourth?
Tenable.
Tenable. Last one?
Weak.
Weak. So I want you to remember that. Right? Dominant, strong, favorable, tenable, weak. You can make your own small mnemonic for you to remember DSFTW. DSFTW. Yeah, you can make a small mnemonic to remember this order, DSFTW. The last three are easier to remember than the first two. Okay, DSFTW. Okay, done. So moving on. To the answer, moving to the answer. Dominant, this is comparatively rare position and in many cases is attributable either to a monopoly or a strong and protected technological leadership. So you, what are the companies that come to your mind when I say dominant in the industry? What are the companies that come to your mind? Tell me. Quick, quick, quick. Geo, okay, anything else? Geo, anything else?
Ma'am, the government electricity or corporations.
Yeah, electricity, anything else? How about Google? How about Windows, Microsoft? Yeah, Geo, Google, Windows. Can you think of, for a very long time, no one has thought of any other operating system. Now they have started getting a few more options, but it is a very, very rare industry.
But ma'am, iOS providing that, giving that competition to Windows?
Yeah, so for a very long time, Windows was in the dominant position. Now, because of iOS, they have moved to the next in line, which is the strong position. They are no more dominant, but they are strong. So they, they keep doing a lot of things to improve themselves. If you know that they have made their interface look like Mac interface, yeah, they have to. So for a long time, they didn't try changing how Windows looked like, but like drastically. But now, because iOS is giving them tough competition, they have to do a lot of innovation. Yes, you agree to that? So from a dominant position, they have now moved to the strong position.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. If you think of Amazon or if, Indian companies, if I have to name, then ITC or ITC is a very dominant industry, a dominant company. A few niche, few segments are very strong. For example, notebooks. If I ask you to think of a brand of notebooks, the only thing that comes to our mind is Classmate notebooks, which are by ITC. Or if I ask you to think of hotel chain, it is the Taj Group. Yeah, Taj Hotels, right? So these are a few dominant players in the market. Reliance, Geo. Next is strong. By virtue of this position, the firm has a considerable degree of freedom over its choice of strategies and it's often its market position being threatened by its competitors. So you're strong, you still have freedom to exercise your what strategy you want to choose. All this may be easy to understand, but very difficult to write down. Okay, so I want you to make bullet points while you're studying in your summary notes so that you're able to reproduce. So for dominant, you're going to write rare position. And it is by the means of monopoly or some tech leadership. No one else can copy that technology. So you have the game in your favor. So I have, and in that case, I will be very, very free to choose my strategies. Choose what strategies I want to take. Strong, not a very high degree of freedom, but a considerable degree of freedom about what strategies I want to choose. Next, DS, dominant, strong. Next, tell me what is next in line after dominant and strong?
Favorable.
FTW, favorable. This position which generally comes when the industry is fragmented and no one competitor stands out clearly, results in the market leaders having a reasonable degree of freedom. So they are playing around with English words, okay? So previous one was considerable degree of freedom, which means a little higher freedom. Reasonable degree of freedom means I have the freedom, but not so much. In favorable, you can think of car companies. Now, industry is fragmented and you don't know which car company is the dominant in the market. Yeah, tell me the number of car companies that you know of. Put it out in the chat box. Car companies. Skoda, and then anything else.
Ma'am, Kia.
Yeah. Skoda, and then gone are the days where, you know, we used to only think of Maruti. Now we have so many other options. Hyundai, BMW, Mercedes, and then we have Honda, right? So we have Nissan. So we have so many companies to choose from. So you can't really say that, you know, this company is the best or they make the best cars. You can't really say that because they are in a fragmented industry. It's broken into so many things and no one competitor stands out. They all have a favorable amount of market share, a favorable position in the market. Clear? So you can write down as example as cars. Or makeup brands, Lakme, Nykaa, Sugar, all these people are favorable, coming under this category of favorable. Next is tenable. Although the firms within this category can perform satisfactorily and can justify staying in the industry, they are generally vulnerable in the face of increased competition from stronger and more proactive companies in the market. So tenable means I'm just fine, I'm surviving, but if someone very, very competitive, very, you know, aggressive comes in the market, I'll be washed out. So I'm in that position where it's kind of scary. I may be washed out. Okay, what I can think of as an example for tenable would be Skype. Yeah, Skype was performing fine. We all were on Skype. We have, you know, made few calls over Skype, but we didn't get hooked onto it. We didn't get hooked onto it. We didn't want to explore more features in Skype, though they did have, you know, video calling and group video calls and all for a really long time. No one really wanted to explore the possibilities in Skype. Maybe the interface was different or some reason, or they were not very aggressive in their marketing, some reason, right? Suddenly Zoom came in and we have so many new options now. We have Teams, we have Google Meet, we have Zoom. Does anyone use Skype anymore? No. But they were the first movers in the industry. But because they were very, very complacent, increased competition had almost wiped it away. So now they need a very strong reason or a strong strategy to come back. Do you agree with me? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, perfect. So tenable. And finally, we have weak. The performance of firms in this category is generally unsatisfactory, although the opportunities for improvement do exist. So I still have opportunities to improve, but right now what I'm doing is not perfect. It's unsatisfactory. Clear? So 5 easy things under the ADL matrix. Tell me quickly, type out on the screen chat box, what does ADL stand for? ADL matrix. ADL.
Arthur D. Little.
Yeah, Arthur
D. Little.
D. Little. Okay, now tell me quickly, it's based on 2 dimensional matrix. One dimension has the
Life cycle of the product.
Yeah, product or industry. Life cycle, and my y-axis has the
position in the market.
Competitive position. Next is differentiation between strategic planning and operational planning. Okay, strategic planning and operational planning. If you have to think of this question, just close your eyes and think. Strategic planning is something that you take a very strong decision. Example, what career do I want to choose for myself? Is it chartered accountancy? Is it MBBS? Is it I want to become an artist? Okay, so strategic planning is what career you choose for yourself or your major vision or goal. So it's the bigger picture. Operational planning is, okay, now that I've chosen CA as my career line, operational planning would mean that when should I give my inter exam? Should I give it in November? Should I give it in May? What are the subjects that I need to choose for my elective paper? Where do I need to go for classes? So my daily planning would be my operational planning. Clear? So strategic, operational. Strategic shapes the organization and its resources, which means that, focuses on the goals and objectives of the entire organization. Operational planning deals with the current deployment of resources. Currently, what I need to be doing. It talks about my today, not about my future. It talks about my today. Next, strategic planning assesses the impact of environmental variables. Okay, if I want to do MBBS, do I have enough funds to fund my studies? Do I have scope in the place that I'm staying in? Yeah, so a lot of environmental, do I have the mindset to stay in this course, to complete it? Yeah, CA or MBBS or whatever. So environmental variables are also considered. In operational planning, you have tactics rather than strategy. You don't really build a strategy, but you have tactics. What should be the pricing of this product? What should be the in a strategic planning would mean what is the product that I want to sell. Operational planning would mean that what is the pricing I need to keep? Where do I need to promote it? Yeah, these kind of tactics rather than strategies. Third point, holistic view of the organization. And this thing takes current operation, talks about the planning current operations. Next, develops overall objectives and strategies. Operational planning makes modifications in business function, but not fundamental changes. So it's not fundamental changes. It's just daily work. Long-term success of the organization, short-term success of the organization. Long-term success, short-term success. Who does strategic planning? Senior management, and this is functional manager. My finance manager, my HR manager, my marketing manager, they can take operational plans, but my strategic plan needs to be done only by my board of directors. Senior management. Very easy question. It's difficult to remember it like that. So we're going to have one column here called particulars. One second. Put a column on your left saying particulars. And write down in short how you're going to remember the points. For example, here, particulars. Okay, under that first one, shapes the organization resources. First point would be resources. Do you agree? So this talks about the planning of resources, entire organization's resources, what to do. This talks with current deployment of resources. Okay, next is tactics versus environmental variables. Environmental variables. Next is view. So this takes a holistic view and this takes some current operational view. Overall versus overall changes versus, okay, we can just put it as changes. Overall changes versus some operational changes. Okay, business function changes, not fundamental change. Long versus short success. And responsibility. So with this particulars, I'm going to write it down here so that I remember what are the points I need to write. I need to talk about resources. I need to talk about view. Yeah, I need to talk about the changes, long versus short term success and responsibility. and tactics versus environmental variables. You can write this to make your answer more easy. Oh no. Yeah, I hope you've written that down. Question number 4. What are objectives? What are objectives? What characteristics must it possess to be meaningful? Objectives are organization's performance targets, the results and outcome it wants to achieve. We all know objectives are what my targets, what do I want to achieve? They function as yardstick for tracking an organization's performance and progress. They function as yardstick for tracking my performance and progress. Objectives with strategic focus relates to outcomes that strengthen the organization's overall business position and competitive vitality. Objectives to be meaningful, to serve the intended role, must possess the following characteristics. Okay, what I want you to remember is that point number 1, they are targets. Point number 2, they are the results and outcomes of what I want to achieve. They are, which means they are my targets. Okay. Third one, I can measure my objectives. Third point, I can measure my objectives. Have I done okay? Do I need to improve? I've done extraordinarily well. So I can measure my objectives. Okay. What are the characteristics it should have? Should define the organization's relationship with its environment. I need to have a relationship with my environment. Achieving of mission and purpose, whatever mission and purpose that I need to achieve, my objectives should be in line with that. Should provide the basis for strategic decision making. So if my objective is to be a very, very good consultant in the market, right? That's my objective. Then I need to take steps to facilitate that. For example, do a CA, after that do another professional course, and work under someone who's very good, learn a lot. So my decision making should be guided by what my objective is. It should provide standards for performance appraisal. I need to, I should need to be able to measure my objectives. Should be understandable. It can't be that, I want to be the best in the market. It can't be a vague objective. Best in what field? Best with numbers, or best with designs, or what field exactly? Yeah, which area do I want to capture? The South market or the North market? Or yeah, so I need to be very clear. It should be understandable and not vague. Should be concrete and specific. Guys, do you know about SMART goals? SMART, SMART goals. Do you know about these?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, S stands for?
Specific.
Very good. All
Measurable.
yeah, measurable. And then A for?
Specific, measurable, reliable, timely,
Attainable, realistic, and timely. Realistic and timely. Yeah, so all these points here will come for objectives also. These SMART points will come for objectives. So maybe you can make a note. Should be specific, should be measurable, should be attainable or understandable, should be related to a time frame. Within the next 3 years, I need to reach there. Should be related to a time frame, should be measurable and controllable. So all these SMART goals point can come here. Should be challenging. Objective should not, say, for example, I am already waking up at 6 a.m. every morning. So my objective should not be that, I wake up at 5:45. By the end of the first month, I need to wake up at 5:45. It's not challenging. If you're already waking up at 6, 5:45 is very easy. So you need to set some challenging objective. I need to wake up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. To be challenging. Different objectives should correlate with each other. If I have 2 objectives, it needs to be in sync. It can't be one objective, cannot be I want to, save the world versus I want to be a good consultant versus I want to be a health expert. You can't have varied objectives, which are clashing each other. Should be set within constraints. My objective should be set within the constraints, within the limits that I can go up to. Should not be with beyond my limits. Like I can't say that I want to be the best consultant in America while I'm living here in India and doing everything related to here. I can't decide that I want to be the best consultant in America. If I want to work in that position, if I want to work my way towards that, okay, but it should be set within the constraints, within the given constraints. Yeah, so we have many points relating to objectives. I want you to pick and choose at least SMART, S-M-A-R-T. 5 points are done that way. Other than that, it should not be conflicting with each other. That is one good point you can remember. It should provide the basis for strategic decision making. This is very important. Apart from that, what else you can remember? Should be challenging, but should be within the constraints. Yeah, I think you can remember about 7 to 8 points. Diversification endeavors can be categorized into 4 broad classifications. Diversification can be categorized into 4 broad classifications. State the basis for this classification and name the 4 categories. How is concentric diversification different from vertical diversification? Please mark this question as important. And also it is very interesting. Before we move on to the answer, do you know the meaning of diversification? In your own terms, tell me what is the meaning of diversification?
It is to get involved in another business than what you're doing currently.
Yeah, it's to try out some other new line of business than what you're doing currently. Yeah, so there are certain types of diversification. Let us study what that is. Please mark this question as very important. Diversification strategy involves, one second. Yeah. Involves expansion into new business, exactly what you said, that are outside the current business and markets of an organization. So diversification is not just limited to new products, but even new markets. For example, I'm a cloth seller in Chennai, and I have my offices in Bangalore and Mumbai and Surat. Yeah, now I want to expand to Japan. I want to go and sell my clothes in Japan. So even when I go to a different market, that is also known as diversification. Based on the nature and extent of the relationship to existing business, diversification can be classified into 4 broad categories. Very important. Vertically integrated diversification. Vertically integrated diversification. Next, horizontally integrated diversification. Third is concentric diversification, and fourth is conglomerate diversification. So vertical, horizontal, C and C. Vertical and horizontal, C and C. Clear? So when I'm talking about vertical integration, it means that, let us take an example to understand this. Okay. So vertical.
Forward integration in a supply chain.
Yeah, forward integration in a supply chain. For example, that I am someone who is manufacturing earphones. Okay, I sell earphones. What I'll do is, in my vertical integration, I'll start getting the wire. I'll start making the packaging. So whatever I'm outsourcing outside, I will start making it myself, or I will go into that business line also. Okay, so I'm making wires. 80% of my wires I supply to my own company to make the earphones. 20% I sell it to other earphone manufacturers also. So I'm making earphones. Okay, so that could be vertical integration. Let us take another example. I am someone who's making trucks. Okay, I make trucks, I sell trucks. So what I can do in vertical integration is, slowly I can start selling tires. I can go into the tire segment because I need that for my trucks. So in my supply chain, whatever is there, I can go into that. I can go into bodybuilding. Yeah, I make the body of the truck. So earlier, what I used to get it done from outside my supply chain, that I start making it myself. So I diversify in that line. Are you clear about vertical integration? Yeah. Horizontal integration means that as the name suggests, for example, now I'm making chips. Okay, chips. Later, I move on to making dips, the dips that you can have with chips. Later, I go into some soft drinks. Later, I go and expand into noodles. So like I have a category of horizontal products that I can diversify in. So Hindustan Unilever, they started with soaps. Then they moved on to shampoo. They moved on to conditioner, and then they moved on to lotions, right? So that is horizontal integration. Is that clear? Are you able to understand or visualize what this is? Yes? Yeah, awesome. Okay. Very good. Next is concentric diversification and conglomerate diversification. Before we go on to concentric diversification, let us study what is conglomerate diversification. Conglomerate means Tata Group is a conglomerate. They have diversified into multiple lines of unrelated businesses. For example, they are into they are into motors, they are into consulting, they are into telecommunication, they are into
Finance.
Yeah, conglomerate,
Hotels.
different kinds of businesses that are not linked with each other. That is the meaning of conglomerate diversification. The best conglomerate example is Tata. Tata is the best example for conglomerate diversification. Okay, concentric diversification is very similar to vertical diversification. That's why in your question they've asked you, please highlight what is the difference between vertical and concentric. Let us see what it is. Concentric diversification takes place when the products are related. The new product is a spin-off from the existing facilities and products of processes. This means that in concentric diversification, there are benefits of synergy with the current operations. Okay, so please note, concentric diversification is when the products are related to each other. For example, I am someone who's manufacturing phones, and then I go on to manufacturing screen guards, and then I go on to manufacturing the cover for the phone. Okay, and so they are the products that are related to each other. The new product is a spin-off from the existing facilities and processes. So I don't need to really build a different factory to, for example, if I'm a builder of a truck, okay, but if I want to go into tires, I need to have different facilities. Okay, but if I'm a manufacturer of phones, what do I need? Chips, I need some body. Yeah, with that chip and body, I can as well make AirPods also. So when the products are related to each other, the new product does not require a new facility. It can be done from the same factory itself. That is the meaning of concentric. There are benefits of synergy. Let us understand this with a better example. Can you give me a food related example of what comes into your mind? Okay, before that, we'll just finish this. In vertically integrated diversification, firms opt to engage in businesses that are related to the existing business of the firm. The firm remains vertically within the same process. So vertically, same process. Sequence moves forward or backward in the supply chain and enter the specific process steps within the intention of making them into new business for the firm. The new product falls within the firm's current process product chain. So, okay, wait, to simplify this for you, concentric means related products. Spin-off from the existing facilities. Okay, concentric means related products, spin-off from the existing facility. And vertical means supply chain. Vertical means engage in businesses that are related to the supply chain.